150 oil tankers, frozen, stuck, going nowhere. One of the most critical waterways on Earth has just been shut down. And right now, the entire world economy is holding its breath. Part 1. What just happened? On Saturday, February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched a massive coordinated military operation, striking military sites, missile infrastructure, drone production facilities, and government targets across Iran. President Trump announced the strikes publicly, calling them major combat operations. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said the goal was to eliminate what he called an existential threat. Iran struck back, and fast. Within hours, Iranian drones and ballistic missiles were flying toward U.S. military bases in Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, and Iraq. Civilian infrastructure was also hit. Airports in Kuwait and Dubai, a hotel in Manama. Bahrain set on fire. Israeli territory was targeted, triggering Iron Dome interceptions over Tel Aviv. And then came the move that changed everything. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps broadcast a message on maritime radio to every ship in the region. The message was simple and terrifying. No ship is allowed to pass the Strait of Hormuz. Just like that, the most important oil choke point on Earth was closed. Part 2. What is the Strait of Hormuz, and why should you care? The Strait of Hormuz is a waterway just 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, sitting between Iran to the north and Oman, and the UAE to the south. It doesn't look like much on a map, but what flows through those 21 miles every single day is staggering. 20 million barrels of crude oil, 20% of all liquid natural gas exports on Earth, and nearly a third of all seaborne oil trade worldwide. This is where Saudi Arabia's oil goes, Iraq's oil, Kuwait's oil, Qatar's gas, the UAE's entire energy export economy. Right now, 150 freight ships, including dozens of oil tankers, are stalled, unable to move, sitting in one of the most dangerous stretches of water on the planet. And here's the brutal truth. There is no real alternative. Yes, Saudi Arabia has a pipeline that crosses the country to the Red Sea. The UAE has one that bypasses the strait. But combined, they can handle only a fraction of normal traffic. The spare oil capacity of the entire world, held by Gulf states, is also trapped behind that closed door. As one energy analyst put it plainly, a prolonged closure of the Strait of Hormuz is a guaranteed global recession. Part 3. The economic catastrophe unfolding. Let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets real for every single person on this planet. Before the strikes, oil prices were already elevated. Energy analysts are now warning that Brent crude could surge past $100 a barrel. And that's the conservative estimate. The real fear is a violent upward spiral driven by panic and hoarding. What does that mean in practice? Your gas prices spike immediately. Airlines face crushing fuel costs. Flights get canceled or become unaffordable. Shipping costs explode, and everything you buy gets more expensive. Manufacturing slows down because factories in Asia can't get the energy they need. Here's something most people don't realize. About 84% of the oil that flows through the strait heads directly to Asia. China receives half of its crude oil imports from the Gulf. India, Japan, and South Korea are massively dependent on this same corridor. When China can't get cheap oil, its factories slow down. When Chinese factories slow down, the global supply chain, which was already fragile, collapses again. And when Asia catches an economic cold, the rest of the world catches pneumonia. What you'll also see is what analysts are calling the mother of all bidding wars. Countries that can afford to will start hoarding energy reserves. Countries that can't will face blackouts, fuel shortages, and economic paralysis. Marine insurance companies are already canceling coverage for tankers attempting the strait, or raising rates to levels no shipping company can afford. Even if the strait reopened tomorrow, commercial traffic may not resume for weeks. And then there's inflation. The world spent years fighting post-COVID inflation. A sustained oil shock of this magnitude would reignite it globally, crushing purchasing power, forcing central banks to raise interest rates again, and pushing already fragile economies into recession. Part 4. The military risks and dangers. This isn't just an economic story. People are dying, and the danger is escalating by the hour. Iran's weapons in and around the strait are formidable. They have thousands of naval mines that can be laid quickly in narrow shipping lanes. They have short-range ballistic missiles pointed directly at the shipping corridor, fast attack boats capable of swarming large vessels, suicide drones already proven deadly in the region, and anti-ship missiles that can target supertankers. The U.S. knew this going in. Initial American airstrikes reportedly targeted Iranian naval assets specifically to degrade Iran's ability to close the strait. But experts warn that Iran may have deliberately held back some of its most capable weapons. Then there's the Houthi wild card. Yemen-based Houthi forces, Iranian allies, have already announced they will resume attacks on Red Sea shipping. This means the other major global shipping route is also under threat simultaneously: the Suez Canal corridor, the Red Sea, the Strait of Hormuz, all threatened at once. The escalation spiral is what military analysts fear most. With Supreme Leader Khamenei confirmed dead, killed in the U.S.-Israeli strikes, Iran may feel it has nothing left to lose. Retired Admiral James Stavridis, former NATO Supreme Allied Commander, warned on CNN that Iran may feel it is on death ground. His assessment was stark. Expect Iran to go big. Going big could mean cyber attacks on Western infrastructure, terrorist operations against American citizens abroad, and, given Iran's nuclear program was reportedly being rebuilt, potentially a desperate nuclear gambit. EU security analysts have already warned of a dangerous nuclear proliferation cascade. This conflict didn't just close a waterway, it may have launched the most dangerous nuclear standoff since the Cold War.